Stranger Things is almost at the finish line, and Netflix clearly wants to make sure the final stretch feels like an event, not just another season drop. Families, friends, and fan-favorite characters are all coming back together for one last trip into the Upside Down in Season 5. And they won't be alone. The Hawkins crew will be joined by some intriguing new faces, including none other than Linda Hamilton, who's stepping into the story as a mysterious Dr. K. At the same time, one of the show's biggest stars, David Harbour, is looking back on how this series didn't just change television. It completely changed his life. Everything in this video is based on publicly available interviews, studio announcements, and entertainment reporting, and is meant for news and commentary purposes only. Netflix has lined up a release plan for Stranger Things Season 5 that almost turns the final chapter into a holiday miniseries. The last season will be rolled out in 3 parts. The first 4 episodes premiere on November 26th, with fans able to dive straight back into Hawkins at 5 p.m. Pacific time that day. For viewers in India, that means the episodes go live on November 27th at 6:30 a.m., ready for an early morning binge. Then, just when the first batch has been fully dissected online, 3 more episodes arrive on Christmas Day. And finally, the story closes for good with a series finale scheduled to drop on New Year's Eve. That's a release calendar that practically guarantees Stranger Things will dominate the end of 2025. Late November, Christmas, New Year's, Netflix is aiming to own the conversation during the entire holiday season. And it fits. This is a show that has always felt like a communal experience. Something people watch together, talk about together, and theorize about like it's a shared obsession. As anticipation builds, Variety recently sat down with David Harbour, the man behind Jim Hopper, to talk about what this long run has meant to him and what comes next. Harbour didn't hold back about the impact. He explained that Stranger Things didn't just give him a hit show, it gave him an entirely new level of visibility. He said that many more people know him now, and that the series gave him a very specific kind of fan base. Professionally, he described the doors it opened as tremendous. In his words, career-wise, the show has completely changed his opportunities. Instead of wondering when the next small part might come along, he's now thinking about which of the many offers he actually wants to walk through. He mentioned that his focus at this point is less on what Stranger Things has already done for him and more on what he'll do after it. He spoke about a new HBO show he is coming in January, one he's doing with Jason Bateman. As one example of what's now in the pipe, you could hear that his head is already partly in the future, even as he prepares to say goodbye to the series that launch him into that next phase. To really understand the scale of the change, Harbour pointed to where he was before Stranger Things came along. He recalled being 35 years old and genuinely content with a very different kind of career. Back then, he was a guy who was number 7 on the call sheet in big studio movies, often action films led by stars like Denzel Washington. He would show up, play a supporting role, do solid work, and go home. At the same time, he was leading plays at places like the Public Theater in New York, one of the most respected stages in the country. He described that life as lovely and fantastic, a life where he lived in a 1-bedroom rental in the East Village, did art he cared about, and didn't expect to be stopped on the street by fans. There was a kind of anonymity and freedom to it. Then Stranger Things arrived, and, as he put it, it completely ripped apart his previous idea of what his career and life would be. Suddenly, he wasn't just a respected working actor. He was Chief Jim Hopper, one of the central faces of a global hit. Harbour talked about how, 7 years ago, being asked what the show meant to him would have been almost overwhelming. At that point, it wasn't just a job. It was a whirlwind that transformed how the industry saw him and how he saw himself. Even now, he made it clear that he understands just how dramatic that pivot was. But he also stressed one important thing. While almost everything in his external life has shifted, one core part of him has remained constant. Harbour said that his intent as an artist hasn't changed at all. Long before Stranger Things and still today, his goal has been to tell beautiful, weird stories that open people up. That's how he described it. Whether he was appearing in a small role in a studio film, playing a lead on stage in New York, or anchoring one of the biggest shows on Netflix, that guiding principle remained the same. It's just that now, the scale and the audience are much, much larger. That intent lines up neatly with what made Stranger Things so successful in the first place. In the show, Harbour plays Jim Hopper, the gruff, traumatized, but ultimately big-hearted police chief of Hawkins, Indiana. Hopper starts out as a small-town cop, drowning his grief in alcohol. Very much a man who has given up. Over the course of the series, he becomes a surrogate father, a fighter, a prisoner in a Soviet camp, and one of the emotional anchors of a story filled with alternate dimensions, monsters, and very scared kids. He's one of the primary adult leads, alongside Winona Ryder's Joyce Byers, in a cast that initially revolved around younger actors. So much of the show's emotional weight, the parental fear, the sense of responsibility, the painful compromises adults have to make, is carried by his performance. Created by Matt and Ross Duffer, Stranger Things has developed into a genuine cultural event across 4 seasons, blending 1980s nostalgia with coming-of-age drama and supernatural horror. For the final chapter, the Duffers are reportedly pulling every thread together. Season 5 will bring all of the core characters back into the same orbit after years of being split across different locations: Hawkins, California, Russia. The mission this time is clear: confront Vecna once and for all, and put an end to the Upside Down. Vecna, introduced in Season 4, emerged as the most powerful and psychologically terrifying enemy the group has ever faced. With direct connections to Eleven's past and the history of Hawkins' lab and him, is not just about stopping the immediate threat. It's about closing the circle on everything that's been festering beneath Hawkins since the very beginning. The Duffers have also teased that this final season will finally explain one of the show's longest-running mysteries. Why Will Byers was the one targeted in Season 1. For years, Will, played by Noah Schnapp, has been at the center of the story's trauma. He was the boy who disappeared, the kid pulled into the Upside Down, the one with a lingering psychic connection to the darkness even after being rescued. Fans have speculated for a long time about what made him special in the eyes of the creature and the forces behind it. Season 5 is supposed to give a definitive answer. And then there are the new characters, such as Linda Hamilton's Dr. K. Hamilton is, of course, best known for playing Sarah Connor in the Terminator films, another iconic sci-fi/horror franchise. Casting her in Stranger Things instantly add a layer of expectation. The character she's playing, Dr. K, is being kept under wraps, described only as enigmatic, which suggests she'll be more than a background scientist. Bringing in someone with Hamilton's genre legacy for the final season signals that the Duffers want the last run of episodes to feel even bigger and more loaded with meaning. We don't know yet how Dr. K fits into the story. Is she tied to the government programs that started this mess? A researcher with forbidden knowledge? An ally? A threat? Netflix is clearly keeping those secrets close, which just fuels the anticipation. The way the final season is being scheduled adds even more weight. Dropping the first 4 episodes on November 26th gives fans a hefty chunk of story to dive into right away. It's enough to set the stakes, reunite characters, and ignite social media theories. Then, releasing 3 more on Christmas Day turns the middle section into a holiday event. People off work, families together, kids home from school. Exactly the conditions that turn past Stranger Things seasons into binge-watch marathons. Finally, saving the last episode, the true finale of the entire series. For New Year's Eve is a major statement. It invites fans to literally end their year with this story, to say goodbye to Hawkins and its characters as they say goodbye to 2025. It's the kind of scheduling decision that doesn't happen by accident. Netflix wants this ending to feel like a cultural moment. For David Harbour, all of this also represents a personal farewell. He's been very open about feeling grateful for what Stranger Things has done for him professionally. It took him from what he described as a one-bedroom in the East Village life to a career where HBO series, major film roles, and other high-profile projects are now on his horizon. But he's also made it clear that Hopper and the show are not something he'll just walk away from without emotion. The transformation he's gone through because of Stranger Things mirrors, in some ways, the transformation of television during its run. When Season 1 premiered, Netflix was still relatively early in its original content push. Binge-watching an entire show over a weekend was a newer concept. Now, as Season 5 approaches, streaming is a default for millions of people worldwide, and Stranger Things is one of the defining titles of that entire era. Harbour's reflection that his intent as an artist has stayed consistent. Want to tell beautiful, weird stories that open people up. Lands differently when you consider how many people this particular story reached. Pre-Stranger Things, he was telling those stories in theaters with a few hundred seats or as the guy viewers sort of recognized in the background. Post-Stranger Things, he's doing it for a global audience of tens of millions. And he's about to carry one of the most anticipated finales in recent memory as November 26th draws closer. Fans are counting down not just to more demogorgons or psychic nosebleeds, but to the final evolution of characters they spent almost a decade with. 11, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Max, Will, Hopper, Joyce, Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, Robin, and now Dr. K. They're all pieces of this bigger puzzle that's about to snap into place. Whether Season 5 sticks the landing will determine how Stranger Things is remembered in the long term, as a brilliant first few seasons that fizzled out, or as a complete story that knew how to end. With David Harbour looking ahead to new opportunities and reflecting on how far he's come, and with Mike and Ross Duffer promising long-awaited answers, the pressure is high. But if there's one thing both the actor and the series have shown consistently, it's an ability to surprise people. The first 4 episodes of Stranger Things Season 5 hit Netflix on November 26, 2025 at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and will be available in India on November 27th at 6:30 a.m. The next 3 arrive on December 25th, and the series finale drops December 31st. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited to see in this final season. Do you think the show can deliver satisfying answers about Will and the Upside Down? And how do you feel seeing actors like David Harbour and Linda Hamilton closing out this era together? If you want more updates, breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes stories as we get closer to the end of Stranger Things, make sure you're subscribed and keep an eye on this channel.